Hello and welcome to Question Coach. So, if you don't know me yet, let me introduce myself. I'm Audrey Genron. I've been a certified business coach for almost 10 years now. And every week I'm here in your ears to help you discover other aspects of leadership and management. And this month, especially about entrepreneurship. So, if you are discovering this podcast today, well, know that we are already in season 2. Season 1 is fully available. You will find more than 20 episodes where I explore big questions of leadership, mindset, management. You can go back at any time, pick the topics that speak to you. But in this new season, since September, I take you into a special mini-series called From Expert to Entrepreneur. It is directly inspired by the program I created, the E2E Incubator. E2E means expert to entrepreneur, to help those who want to quit the corporate world and launch their own business. So in episode 1 last week, what did we do? We worked on the first pillar of the E2E, which is identity. It's really the fundamental question of who am I when I am no longer defined by my title or my business card? Basically, how do I find back my legitimacy and my confidence at the moment where I jump into entrepreneurship? So today we continued on the road to entrepreneurship and we're going to talk about the business. It is one of the biggest pillars of the incubator. Of course, the second pillar is really business strategy. Concretely, that means what business to launch after a corporate career. What are the possible models, and especially how to choose the one that fits you. Because yes, you can come from a big four, a big bank, a law firm, from an international group, but the question is always the same. Not that I go solo, or at least that I step outside this big corporate machine. What am I going to build? What business I'm going to choose? How am I going to launch myself? That's what we're going to explore together in this episode today. So what I propose today is to go through the models that are the most often used when you start your own business after a career in big groups, in the big four, large bank, etc. After a career where you have built a strong expertise, very sought after, which was the foundation of your corporate life. And I include myself with you in this reflection because 4 years ago, when I started my own business, my first question was, what can I sell if I don't sell it anymore inside the company where I was working? The first model, the one that is certainly the easiest to set up, is freelancing. Freelance, independent. When you quit corporate, the first model that comes to mind is to become a freelancer. Concretely, what does it mean? It means continuing to do what you were doing in the company, but now for your own account. You sell your time, your operational expertise, mission by mission, you go find clients who will buy this expertise you had in your company, but now you sell it for yourself. A typical example, auditors or tax specialists, colleagues of mine who became independent consultants, billing on a daily rate on 3 to 6 month missions, sometimes longer. The advantage of this model, it is quick to set up, you keep an income, it secures your transition. The limitation, you recreate your golden cage, but in solo. You stay dependent on your time and you quickly hit a ceiling. Your income is your daily rate multiplied by your time. So big advantage, it's familiar, you already have a network, you know the system, it makes the transition easier. But the limits are clear as well. So that's the first reflex, the freelance model. Honestly, I would say 80% of people turn to this one at the start. Second possibility, selling your expertise. That means taking your expert background and transforming it into knowledge, into training, into seminar, into methodology. Not simply repeating your corporate missions, but creating a new product. The advantage, you are recognized as an expert, you can speak in front of groups, create a podcast, a dedicated program, you gain visibility. The limitation is it takes preparation. You must define your angle. You have to make sure that there is a market, that your expertise can really become a sustainable business model. The third model, scalable products and services. Here, the idea is to decouple your time from your revenue, to create a product, a solution that can be sold at scale without depending on your direct presence. It can be online training, a SaaS, digital platform. Basically, you work asynchronously. Very difficult to say this word. So not in synchronicity, so asynchronously. You put your energy up front and the product continues to sell even when you are not there. This is a great advantage. You create something that lives beyond you, that generates recurring revenue, that can go international. The limitation, it's not passive income in the common sense of the word. A lot of people are thinking, oh, good, passive income. No, you need resources, you need real marketing, you need a lot of energy at the start to create the product, and a good product. So you have to produce before you earn. So it's not passive income, but it's asynchronous income. So you don't have to be there each and every time that you're selling this scalable product or service. That's the third model. The fourth model is the famous startup or the co-founding. So after the freelancing, selling your expertise was a second possibility. The third model was scalable products and services. The fourth model is startup and co-founding. This is about associating yourself, raising funds, creating a new company with an innovative concept. It's exciting, but it's also very demanding. So there are many of them, startups, but I can think about one from our former managing partner of KPMG Luxembourg. He was the one who hired me 15 years ago at KPMG. I'm thinking about George Bock. He founded Moneyflow. Moneyflow is a fintech in Luxembourg that is a true revolution around the way we invest sustainably in Luxembourg into products, financial products. So it's a high impact project which combines technology and responsible finance. So it's a truly innovative concept. He created a company, a startup, very exciting, but also very demanding as well because he has people around him, etc. So the advantage of the startup model is, of course, the growth potential, the attractivity, also the societal impact that you have. The limitation is the energy, the passions that you have to have, because of course you don't create a startup in just 1 month. The capital probably, the financing that you have to put behind, and also it's a little bit riskier because you're risking a little bit more because you have a lot more responsibility into making a startup work, and it goes beyond your own safety in the freelancing model, for instance. So that's the first model, that's the startup or the crowdfunding. So another model that I know very well is coaching and mentoring. This is the model I choose. I was already doing this internally when I was at KPMG, but I turned into coaching and mentoring when I founded my independent business 4 years ago. So today I'm an executive coach, a hypnotherapist as well. I help leaders get out of imposter syndrome, develop their leadership, transform their organization, their business, and their people, their teams. The advantage when you are coaching, when you are mentoring, it's high added value. you have a strong human impact, you get full recognition. The limitation is, of course, that being a coach requires training, certification, credibility. A lot of people are thinking because I was an expert into my field that I can become a coach just like this. I make myself independent. I can name myself coach. But the competency that you have as an expert are far different from the competency that you need for being a coach. Being a coach is not only being an expert in your field. Being a coach is as well having coaching competencies. And for that, you require techniques, training, certification. You cannot become a coach because you just say so. I get a little bit agitated around that topic. I'm so sorry. I see a lot of people calling themselves coaches, and I'm just thinking, no, you are just sharing your experience. You were a very good, probably, let's say you were a very good expert, and today you're naming yourself a coach, but you aren't. Coaching is really a very peculiar way of training, of developing people, requires training and certification. You cannot name yourself a coach just like this because you decided so. And this is why the market is so crowded. The entry bar is very, very low because a lot of people name themselves coaches. But after a while, after 1, 2, 3 years, 90% of coaches, they go back to corporate world because they cannot make a living out of it if they are not properly trained, certified, and they are never credible in the coaching world. So when it works, the impact is amazing. You don't just earn money, earn good money, I can tell you. You earn recognition, human connection. You see real transformation with your clients. So if you are attracted to this model of coaching and mentoring, to developing others, please get a proper training. Please get proper certification, not in a weekend. By all means, it takes years to get really credible as a good coach. But do this by all means, and then the impact you will have, the transformation that we'll see in your clients, they are really, really great. So, of course, you can earn good money by being a coach. I'm a living proof. But also you get great recognition, connection, transformation. This is a great model as well. Coaching and mentoring. So there are many other models, and maybe I can name another one, sixth one, which is the business angel, the investment and business angel. So here you will use your capital, your expertise, your experience to support other entrepreneurs. You will diversify, you create impact, you are part of an ecosystem without being operational yourself. So you are not yourself managing the business, but you will support it with investment. Of course, the big limitation here is you need capital to start, and you need also to accept the risk of being a business angel. Of course, this is another model that some of us, we don't think about it, but you get also great value because you can truly accompany entrepreneurs on their journey to innovative ideas when they don't have the means, the financial means, the investment to make it work. You can then support them as well. And you can sometimes also make it happen with a little bit of mentorship on the way. So you can combine the sixth and the fifth model together. So that's another model, being a business angel. So now you may say, thank you very much, Audrey. You gave me great ideas, but how do I choose? First, you don't always have to choose just one. You can also combine, but let's reflect a little bit. And when you are part of the E2E Incubator, the program that is starting now in October with me, we reflect around 6 main questions. And I will give you these 6 questions so that you can already start your reflection on the way. The first one is, do you prefer to sell your time or do you prefer to sell your knowledge, your expertise? So what is the model that you prefer, selling time or knowledge? The second question that you can add to that is, Do you need a model that is quick and secure? Or can you be more innovative and risky? So what are your limitations in terms of timing and finances? That's the second question. The third question that you can have is, do you have the vision and the energy to create something scalable? Or do you need to go more for freelancing because you don't have these scalable ideas or scalable products and services? So that's the third question. Do you have vision, energy to create something scalable? Fourth question, do you want to work solo or do you want to co-create with partners? I choose the solo version, but today I work with a lot of other freelancers and entrepreneurs in association. We are not partners really. We didn't create something together. We are solo entrepreneur joining services and ideas to create something different. So how do you want to proceed? Do you want to work solo? Do you want to have employees? Do you want to co-create with partners? Fifth question is, what gives you the most energy? Where is really the zone where you feel in the flow? Like, do you teach? Do you coach? Are you building something? Are you investing in some people projects? So what gives you the most energy? What is the zone where really you can create something meaningful to you? Coaching, building a new product, a SaaS, or whatever it is. And final question maybe, do you want one single model or a hybrid mix of several models? For me, for instance, I have a mix of several models. I started with freelancing, but then I added on top of that selling also expertise, and I added on top of that now scalable products and services. So, and also I can liaise with some other experts, and we co-create things together, new projects for another type of clients. So my business is actually a mix of several models put together. So take time to reflect on these questions. They won't give you all the answers just right away in 5 minutes, but they will help you at least reflect, and they will help you create your own entrepreneurial compass. And you can find, by the way, all these questions, you can find them back on the newsletter. When you subscribe to the newsletter, you will have all the reflection of the podcast episode with you, and you will have, of course, all the 6 questions to help you also reflect. So which model is for you? The most important thing is there is no single or preferable model. You can start with one, you can change, you can combine several. Me, I started 100% freelance. Today, freelance is maybe 50, 60, 65% of my activity because I added scalable products. With Be Best, I sell time with my one-on-one coaching and premium sessions. I sell expertise with workshop and training. And I develop scalable products with the E2E Incubator and also other online formats. So this mix reflects who I am today and what I want to build. It can be the same for you. And this is exactly what we do in the E2E Incubator. You clarify your model, you test your ideas, you build a solid strategy to launch your business in 2026 without burning out, without losing your confidence and your financial stability. So all the details are in the show notes. You will find a link where you'll find all the description, all the details to the E2E Incubator. And there is even a personal audit link where you will see if you are ready to make the leap to entrepreneurship. So if you want to take the step to entrepreneurship now in 2026, this is your moment. The moment is now. The next cohort starts in October, so check the notes and book your place. That's all for today. In the next episode next week, we will go even deeper into your entrepreneurial strategy. The episode will be in French on Monday and, as usual, in English on Thursday. In the meantime, take a moment to trace your entrepreneurial compass and reflect which model or which mix of models fits you best today. and I'll see you very soon in Question Coach.